Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the second part, okay, of this USB key, and we're actually going to be making this metal part here that obviously slots into this section of the USB, which we've already made on this part, okay. You can see that little section there, that's where it attaches on. So we're going to be making that. You can see obviously some of the kind of curvature on it, and then at the very top we kind of have this little triangular part where you might attach on maybe something to a keychain, okay. So that's what we're going to be making in this video. So it says here, it's a USB key cover. Open a new part in SolidWorks, select the front plane, and using the line command, draw the sketch shown. So we're going to do a line, a center point arc, and another line. Okay, and then it says add a horizontal relation between the two nodes shown. It's hard to see, but I think they're selecting this one and this one. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. So in SolidWorks, go File, New, Part, click OK. That's going to bring us into a part file. Now we want to select the front plane and sketch. So to start off, line tool, a line is going to go vertically up something like this. Now to deactivate the tool, press escape. I now want to go over here to my center point arc. And what I usually do at this point, I'll zoom in a little bit better now. I hover over the point I want to start it close to. Okay, I don't want to be down here or too far high. I want to be in line with that. And when I'm somewhere I'm happy with, click, then click on the actual node of the end of it, click. And you can see here my arc is kind of going not the way I want, so sometimes you might have to go all the way around, but if you just hover over it, it'll usually give you the option. It'll kind of change the one you want. And I'm going to click until it gets around to this side, click. Okay, now, after I do that, I want to click on the line command again, and click. And I want it to be in relation to this, so drag out, click. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to add some relations, okay? This line and this line, I always want them to be equal in height. I don't want this line, when I mentioned a while, which is meant to be 45, and this one stays the same, bigger or smaller. I want them to stay the same. So if I make them equal, if I change this one has to change. So select this line, hold down Control, and select this line. Over here in the relations, okay, you can also do it up here, but I want to make them equal. Notice how the two equal symbols have popped in beside the lines. Happy with that, accept. I now want to make this one and this one horizontal. So click on this line or this node and click on the node here. Hold down Control and click on the node and then click on horizontal. Okay, accept that. The next thing I want to do is, and I'll just refer out to this before we start applying dimensions. So we've done these relations, okay? Add an equal relation between the two vertical lines, which we've just done. Now it says, select the offset entities command. Make sure that the offset is inwards by 1 millimeter. And then it says, tick the cap ends box and the lines button to close the sketch. So 1 millimeter after we select offset entities, which we did in the previous video, 1 millimeter. I want to very much click on the cap ends and lines, not arcs. And if we have to reverse it, we will, because we want the sketch to go inside the one that we've done. So, offset entities is up here in the sketches tools. Offset entities, instead of 10, I want 1. Press enter. So I'm going to select this line. Now notice how it's come in on the inside. My cap ends box, okay, I'm going to untick it for a second. But entities, yes, and notice how it's coming in on the inside. Now if yours comes in, okay, on the outside like this, you just tick the reverse box. In this case, mine came in on the inside. I'm happy. I'm now going to select the curve. Notice how the sketch will continue, and then select this line, and there we go. Now you might think you're done there now, but at the very bottom we actually want to close this off. So what we can do there is, if we select the cap ends, okay, and if it's on lines, perfect, but if it's on arcs, we don't want the arc, we want it on lines. So when it's at lines, click the green arrow, accept. There we go. Okay, you can still see though that our sketch is partly black, partly blue. It is underdefined. So to define the sketch, we need to now add some dimensions. And the dimensions are, it has a height of 45 and then a radius at the outside curve of 4.5. Okay, now when I make this 45, this line here, the other line beside it should also change. So smart dimension. Click on the line here, it's close enough, I had it 46 point something, 45, enter. It has changed the opposite side. Now what I want to do is click on the radius here. I want this to be 4.5, enter. Okay, now why did that not? change. I might have to give this a height, sorry. If I click on the center point here and click on the origin, sometimes, yeah, that's a little bit funny when that happens. Sometimes you might have to do that, and you might have to give the center point of the circle or the arc down to the origin a height, even though it's 45 as well. And you can see here now it is fully defined. So I'm happy with that, okay? So it didn't say that in the kind of drawing there, or sorry, on the sheet over here, but sometimes you might have to do that just to make sure it's fully defined. Now, we accept the sketch, okay, but we're not going to that. We're just going to go straight to our features toolbar, and we want to extrude boss base by 16 millimeters. Okay, so features, extrude boss base, blind, instead of 10, 16, enter, press X green button to accept, or the green tick. And there we go. You can see here we're starting to make that piece, okay? Now what we want to do is select the face shown. So we have to select this face and then draw a center line between the two midpoints, okay? So we want to draw a center line from there to there. Then it says select the circle command and draw a circle with its center point on the center line. Okay, then what we're going to do is select the circle and holding down the shift key, okay, select the bottom line shown and add a tangent relation. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to select this face here. I'll remind this ground I'm okay in a minute. I'm going to select this face and select sketch. I'm going to start off with a center line. So line tool, center line. I want to be over the middle, on the node in the middle. Click, click. Press escape to deactivate the tool. Now what I want to do is, using a circle, a center circle, okay, this one, not perimeter. Oh, press escape, sorry. Get my tool again there. Circle. Now anywhere at all, I'm going to draw a circle. Somewhere near the bottom. Now there's that circle selected. What we want to do now is, I want to select the perimeter, or sorry, the circumference of the circle. Click on it. Holding down the shift key or the control key, select this bottom edge here. Okay. When I do that, there's only one relation. It's going to give me a tangent. So when I select this, notice then how it's after joining onto it, okay? Now, the circle has got much bigger, okay, because my center point was up here when I started it. If it was down lower, it would have been smaller, okay? Absolutely fine. Now what we want to do is, I want to select the circumference of the circle again, hold down Control or Shift, select this base or this edge, and once again make it a tangent. Now when I do that with that edge, you can see it's after fitting in perfectly. Accept that. Okay, so that's that bit done. Now what we want to do is, one down the shift key. Okay, so we've done that, page 15, sorry. Now it says, repeat the process to add a tangent relation between the circle and the vertical line. Okay, so we've done that. Now it says, select the center line and draw the following diameter line going across the middle as well. And then it says, use the trim command to remove the excess from the circle. Select trim to closest button, then in the drawing area, click the lines to remove. Okay, so what we want to do is, I'm going to show you a slightly different way. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get our center line tool and draw a center line from this part of the circle over to this part. Press escape to deactivate it. We essentially just want to remove this bit and this bit. So if I go up here to my trim entities tool, we have different options. You've got power trim, which I find is the most useful, but then they said there select trim to closest. I'm going to show you power trim. Okay, so with power trim active, what I want to do is, I want to, in this space up here, I'm going to click and hold with my mouse and keep the left click button pressed down and drag. You can see I'm doing like a line there, and the minute it goes through this line, the circumference of the circle here, that part is gone. When I got rid of that, I'm happy. Do the exact same on this side. Click and hold. There we go, gone. Okay, I've that bit now done. There's my trim entities done. Okay, all we wanted was the semicircle. Okay, so the next bit we want to do is extrude cut in the features tab, and then it says make sure, does it say select the trim? Yeah, accept the sketch, sorry. Let's go out here. So it says select extrude cut into features tab. Make sure the arrow is pointing in the correct direction on the drawing area. Select true all for direction 1 and direction 2. Okay, so what we want to do is, in this features tab, extrude cut. Now, very important here, I'm selecting true all, okay, not blind, and you can see here this has come in. Now direction 1, direction 2, perfect, okay, but it's very important. It says, if you actually look here, we've got a little arrow here, it's pointing upwards, so I need to click on that arrow and flip it down. So it's very important that arrow is flipped in a down direction. Okay, so just make sure you click on it. It'll highlight orange when you're on it. So I need to kind of zoom in there. I did it there and I'm after movement. There you go. Okay, so when I've done that, I'm happy with that. Click on the green arrow. Done. Accept. So there we go. We've that done. Now, very easily, I'll just go in there, edit feature. I could have, sorry, not the feature, apologies, edit sketch. If I right click and edit sketch, I very easily could have just drawn a line from there to there, over to there, up to there, and that would have identified the area. Okay, but just going to follow the steps. So first thing I'm going to do, rename the features. So this was USB metal cover. Okay, cut feature. I'll rename it USB round edges. Okay, perfect. So you can see here we're making progress. So the next thing we want to do is, we've done that. It says here, click on the surface shown and using this surface here, and using the circle command, draw a circle using the same center point as before. Okay, and we want that circle to be a diameter of 10, and we want to extrude cut through all, so it's going through the whole piece. Okay, so this face, sketch. I want to do circle. Now, to get the actual center point, if I hover over any point on the perimeter, okay, the center point will become active. You can see it there. So in there, as long as you're in the black or in the box of it, it'll do the center point. Draw a circle. Now those circles are concentric because this circle or this arc and this circle share the same center point. Smart dimension. Click on the perimeter, or the circumference I should say, and I want that to be 10. So there's the circle drawn on that surface. I want to cut through the whole object. Features, extrude cut, through all, except that green arrow. There we go. That's the next step. Okay, and what I'm going to do is click on the feature, rename it, and I'm going to call it USB cover slot. Okay, perfect. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, we've done that. Going on to page 16 here. So it says, select the inside surface to draw a new sketch. So it's inside here. And what we're going to do is, it says here, select convert entities and add a click on the circle shown to transfer it onto the new sketch. Select offset entities and offset the circle outwards by 1 mm. Accept the sketch. Then it says, select extrude boss base and click on the area shown to extrude and extrude by 1 mm and accept. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, we're going to select this inside face here. This face, inside there. Okay, so select that, select sketch. Okay, what we're going to do now is, you kind of have to be nearly in 3D for this part. So I'm in a sketch, click anywhere. Now make sure you click somewhere on the screen to deactivate the area. What I want to do is, I want to select convert entities. So make sure this isn't highlighted blue. Select convert entities. Now entities to convert, I want to select the perimeter, or sorry, the circumference of the circle. Select that and accept. There's a circle now drawn there perfectly. I now want to go to offset entities. So convert will just change or accept whatever is there. I want to offset by 1 mm, and I'm going to select the circumference again. I want it to be on the outside, which it has come in. If it's not, select reverse. Click the green arrow. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, I want to go features, extrude boss base, and instead of saying through all, lines and 1 mm. Okay, and make sure the merge result box is ticked. Click OK. There we go. So that's done on that side. So obviously that is done on one side. We now want to do it on the other. So what are we going to do here? We're going to mirror. Okay, feature. So it says here actually, oh, this is good and this is helpful. To mirror this feature, a new plane is needed. So it says here, select the arrow underneath reference geometry icon in the features tab. Select the plane icon. Okay, so and then it says, in the design tree, select the right plane as the first reference and add a distance of 4.5 mm as the distance the new plane is away from the reference plane. Accept. Okay, so to do all of that, okay, we want to basically, instead of just repeating those steps, we want to mirror it and save our time. So what we want to do is, and it's a good thing here because you're going to learn about how creating a new plane. At the start, we already had a front plane. You can see it there. We had a top plane. which is down there, and we have right plane, which is there. So what we're going to do now is in the Features tab, go over here to Reference Geometry, click on the arrow, click on Plane. Now we have to reference because we want to make a new plane. So for the first reference, if you come over here and click on the arrow here, and what we want to do is we want to go and select the right plane. Now you can see here, after selecting the right plane, a distance bar has come in here. And look, here's the plane. So if I change that, look, it's 10 now. It's meant to be 4.5, but if I make it 15, you can see the plane has gone 15 away from the right plane, because the right plane is the reference that we're using. So it's gone 15 away. I want it to be 4.5. So I'll change this distance here to 4.5, accept. And that's where I want it to be, right in the middle of the object. Okay, if I wanted it to be the other direction, I could flip it, and it just goes out the other side. I don't want it out there, I want it in here. So when I'm happy with that, where the plane is, accept that. So you can see here, the plane is highlighted, it is called plane 1. Now you don't have to give it a name. If you want, you could name that, right-click on it, F2, or sorry, click on it, F2, and you could call it maybe mirror plane. So I just want it active at the moment. So now we're going to go into a feature that we've used before, mirror, click on mirror. What's my mirror face plane? So select it from here, but this time I'm not selecting front, top, or right. I'll come down here and I'll select this new plane that I created, plane 1. And now I want to go features to mirror. I want to mirror the boss extrude here. You can see it's gone in at the other side, about that plane, green arrow, accept. Now that I've used that plane, all I want to do now is I want to hide it. It's kind of sticking out there. So right click on that, hide. There we go. So there's that part done. Okay, my mirror feature, that's fine. I don't have to rename that. I will rename my boss extrude though. F2, cover slot, USB inserts. I'd say slot inserts. Insert actually. There we go. Okay, so that bit's done there now, guys. So what we're going to do now is we've done the mirror feature. So just come back out here. So it says here, add a 1mm fillet to complete the detailing. So inside here. So for the fillet, click on fillet. I want just the constant fillet. Instead of 10, I want this to be 1. And then all I want to do is I want to select this edge, or the circumference, and then select this circumference as well, and click on the green arrow. There we go. That bit is done. Now the last thing we have to do, okay, I'm not going to rename the fillet. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to create another plane. And the bit we're going to focus on is the triangular bit at the top. Okay, so you can see here it says, to add the tab on top of the cover, under reference geometry select plane, create another plane parallel to plane 1 at distance of 0.5mm away. Select this new plane to draw a new sketch. Okay, so in here, I want to go reference geometry, plane. My first reference is now plane 1, not the right plane, plane 1. And once again, I want it to be really close. So watch this. It's 4.5 away. I want it to be 0.5. And you can see how close it is. You can see how close they are together there. But once I have the 0.5 away, click on the green arrow to accept. This now obviously is called plane 2. Okay, I want to sketch on plane 2, so select the plane and select sketch. Okay, so the sketch they want us to do is draw a center line from the midpoint shown, so the midpoint of the line from right here, and then it says select the line command and draw the triangle shown at an equal relation between the two lines. Okay, now it doesn't come up as kind of clean on here, okay, so you'll see it in the video. So center line, right in the midpoint, click, draw. Now, deactivate the tool, press escape. I want to now draw a triangle. So, using my line, not the center line, click on the top point. I'll come down here, click. Make sure it's a horizontal line, click, click. So, you can see here, it looks like it's an isosceles. Now, I want this line and this line to be equal. So, click on the line, then hold down Control and click on the other line. And I want them to be equal. Okay, slight change there. Click the green arrow. They're equal now. The next thing I want to do is, okay, it says here add an equal relation between the two lines, and then it says add the following dimensions. So here's the dimensions, okay. The length of the line is 2.5, I have an angle of 45 degrees, and the height of the center line is 1.5. So, smart dimension, center line, It's too high, 1.5. I want this line to be 2.5, I think it was. Just want to be certain on that now. Yep, 2.5. And I want the angle in here to be 45 degrees between those two lines. Make sure you get those two. 45 degrees. You can see here it's after dropping down there. There we go. There's the sketch. You can see it's slightly inside the object. Happy with that. Now, the next thing, just moving over on the sheet. Next thing we want to do, just move there again, guys, because the lights could go out here. So, it says here, extrude to a distance of 1 millimeter. Now, having previously done this, it says blind. I'm telling you what I'm actually going to do on this one, okay, is we're going to go to our features and boss extrude. Now, they say 1 millimeter, and I don't actually like this because I think there's a slight. If I click in here, there's a slight little gap you'll see under there. Now, I don't like that because technically there's a little gap there. I don't like that. So where it's extruding, what I'm actually going to get you to do, instead of 1 millimeter is fine and merge result is fine, but instead of blind, we're going to do mid-plane. Now, as you can see, when I select the mid-plane, it's like it's after getting consumed inside it. Because if I just did blind, I don't like that there's a little gap under there. Okay? So, mid-plane. All right? Now, click the green arrow. Accept. There we go. There's that thing. There's the kind of the little the slot there for the keychain. So plane 2, I'm now going to hide that. I'm going to rename my boss extrude here. I'm just going to call it USB keychain slot. I'll just say USB keychain actually. There we go. So the next bit I'm going to do now is, it says here, on the face of the triangle, draw another sketch using the line command. Add a parallel relation between the sides of the inner and outer triangle as shown. Add the following dimensions, 0.3, 0.3, 0.1. Okay, so on this base, select the face, select sketch. So you can see it's quite small, so we zoom in. I'm going to draw another triangle roughly in here. Okay, I did it randomly on purpose. Now what I want to do is, I want this line, select the line and hold down control and select this line, this edge. I want them to be parallel. They are now parallel. I want this line, hold down control, select this line, once again parallel. Okay, and the last thing I want then is, this line is already horizontal and this one's horizontal, so I don't need to make them parallel. I want this point to be directly under this point up here. So I'll select the top point and then this top point, holding down control while I did it, and then I'm going to click on vertical. And you can see it's after popping in straight underneath it. Now that I've that done, relations are really helpful to us in that sense, okay? Rather than messing about with dimensions. I'm now going to go smart dimension. I'm now going to make this distance between that line and this line 0.3. Click on the line, 0.3. Oh, sorry, because it was an equal relation, that's why it was giving me up that. But now I want the distance between this line and this line. I'll just check here, I think it is, yeah, 0.1. So I want that distance to be 0.1, enter, accept that, I'm happy with that. Now I'm just going to go features and extrude cut and just say through all, except the green arrow. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. And there we go. That is the object cut through there, through the whole thing. Okay, you can see here it obviously goes down a little bit there. So the fact that it's cutting that there now, okay, I don't like that it's kind of cutting into the curve. You can see the little bit there where it's kind of cutting down there. I don't like that. So what I'm actually going to do is, I'm going to go back in here to my cut extrude and to my sketch. Click on sketch, edit sketch. Now for the edit sketch, I'm going to change this size here purposely. I'm going to make it 0.2. Okay, maybe that's a bit too big. I'll go 0.15. I'm happy with that now. Click the green arrow, accept, exit my sketch because the extrude then will already be done. And there we go. Much happier with that. I think that looks a lot neater now. Okay, so there we go. Much happier with that. So the next thing we're going to do is, we're going to, it says here, Select the fillet command and apply a 0.5mm fillet to the edges shown. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do the outside parts with 0.2. Okay, so first thing, fillet. There we go. I want the constant round fillet, only this time instead of 1, 0.5, enter. I'm going to select the top edge here. I'm going to select the inside edge in here. I'm going to select this edge here and this edge here. Click it and accept with the green arrow. I'm going to do another fillet, only this time I'm going to change it to 0.2. Okay, and this time I'm just going to select this edge, and it'll do the whole edge the whole way along, and this edge, and then accept it with the green arrow. And there we go. That looks very similar now to what we were actually trying to create. You can see it there. Okay, it looks quite similar to that, so I'm quite happy with that. And that's actually, as far as I know, I think that's the part done. I'll just check on if there's anything else left to do. Oh yeah, sorry. We have to add a chrome plate, okay, and then save the part as USB cover. So a chrome plate appearance. So first thing I'm going to do is similar to the last one, click on the icon here. Okay, you don't have to do it that way, but I'm going to click on the icon there. I still have my metal icon open. Click on Chrome, and the one I'm going to do is Chromium plate. So click on it, hold over to the part. I'm going to just do the whole part. Perfect. Happy with that. Okay. Now, that's that part actually done. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little bit of detail on this front face here. I'm going to put in something like our name. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that. A little appearance. So if I select this face and select sketch. Okay. What I want to do is I want to do a center line. So center line. I'm going to start my center line from about here. The node in the middle down to here. Okay, press escape to deactivate it. I'm going to do an offset entities. I'm going to say I'll do 2mm actually. And click on the line. I want the line to be going the other way. So we'll reverse that. And I don't want it to be a heavy line. I'd also want it to be a construction line, okay? So I'll do base geometry, or is it offset geometry? There we go. And when I click on that, that comes in that way. Click on the green arrow to accept. There we go. Now what I want to do is I want to put in a name on that line. So I'm going to go up here to this little A symbol, which is for notes or text. So click on that. Now the text I want to put in is just my name. So my name is Anthony. So I'll type in Anthony. Okay. Notice how straight away it has come in relation to the origin. Okay. What I want to do is I want it to come in on this line. So in here under curves, in that section there, make sure that's highlighted, click on this line. There you go. The minute I click on that, it's come in. Now, it's in the wrong way. I want it flipped over and I want the A to be on this side reading this way. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, we have to kind of play around this, flip vertical. So I'll flip on this and then flip this way. I have it in the right direction. Now we're going to click on the center part and it's gone into the middle. Okay. So I'm quite happy with that. Although the size and maybe the text I might want to change. So it says here, use document font. I don't want to use the document. I'm going to unclick that and click on font. Okay, a little bit of playing around here now. You might choose something like this. I'm going to choose something fairly basic, nothing crazy here. The crazier you go, the more, I suppose, difficult you can get. I'm going to go with, I have no idea here now. I might go Showcard Gothic, see what this looks like. And click OK. Might just click OK and accept. Yeah, that's not too bad. Looking at that there. Once again, the size is a little bit small. So font, where it says 3.5, I'm going to change this to maybe a 5. Press enter to accept. Gone a little bit too big. So font again, maybe go down to a 4. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay. Is it in the central region? Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Obviously you might have to play around with these a little bit to kind of figure it out. Mine is perfectly in the center there. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Click on the green arrow to accept and you can see it there. Now the only thing I will do is I'm going to change this from 2 to 1.5 and I'll see what it looks like. Okay, and you can see it's after moving up, maybe 1.75. Now this is all kind of how I'm appearing it, how it appears to me. I think that's a little bit better. Okay. Okay, are the letters a little bit close? I think they are. So I'm going to actually double click on the lettering And I think you can change the lettering now here. So if I increase this, you can see it's gone out a little bit longer there. I won't do 120, I might do 115, something like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, quite happy with that. Click on the green arrow to accept. Now, there's the text. It's gone in there. So what do I want to do now? I want to extrude cut into that. Okay, so features, extrude cut. I do not want it to go the whole way through. Okay, so all I want to do is I want to say blind, and I just want it to be on the top surface. Okay, so instead of 1, I want to do maybe like 0.1, and click on the green arrow to accept. And there you go. There is my name after being put on it. Obviously, you can cut down further. I cut down 1 millimeter or 0.1 of a millimeter. If I wanted, I could edit feature and I could change that size to maybe 0.01. It'll still give me. There we go. And it's a really, really small cut then. Okay, so there you go. Same principle. Okay, it didn't matter. Something this small, it wouldn't matter. 0.1 would have been fine as well. Okay, now last thing before I finish, I cut extrude here. Which one was this? That was, oh yeah, so I'm going to rename that. Always rename the feature. So USB keychain slot, I call it. And then finally, I'll just rename this as well, name detail. And there we go. So that's that part done, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into an assembly. But before we do that, we have to save that. So file, save as, and we've already got the key body. So this one now is USB cover. And click on save. There we go. I'm going to click X here. Now, last part of the video, file, new, assembly, click OK. And first thing I'm going to bring in, it'll automatically usually bring you to this, okay? If it doesn't, okay, click cancel. You don't have to, but you can bring it. What you can do is in the assembly, I'm going to go insert component, browser component, it comes up, USB key body, click open, okay. There we go. I'm actually going to twist it around till it's about here, accept that. Now, what I want to do now is going to go insert component, going to get the other part, USB cover. Notice how it's come in a vertical position. So I'm not happy with that. So click on the Y, then click on the X. I'm happy with that now. Okay. So there we go. Now what I want to do is click in there. The last thing, we just have one mate to do. If I click on mate, I want to mate the inside circumference here, that part there, with this one here. It's very important to select the right one. There we go. And why is that not going in perfectly? Alright, now I might have to do one other mate. Let's just see. Click on that face. Trying to get the face here now. This face, there we go. For some reason I had to do 2 mates there. But click on the green to accept, and there we go. That is the USB done. And you can see here, by doing all that, that will now flip around. I can pull it around like it actually does in real life, okay? You can set a different type of mate, and it's obviously to set it only to go a certain distance, something like that. But the actual USB itself floats around freely, so there's no need to do that, okay? Now that that assembly is done, what we're going to do is going to go File, Save As. It says, would you like to rebuild and save down before saving? Yeah, I'll rebuild. Okay, now it's going to go Assembly. So I'm going to go Assembly of USB key. And click on Save. That's gone into the correct folder. Close that down. Okay, and just to check everything, okay, bring us back out to the home screen here. Okay, I had it previously done, but inside in here, if I go USB, I've got my assembly, USB cover, USB key body. So if I click on that, it should open absolutely fine, no issues. And you can see there, still spinning around, and I still have the detail there of my name. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's the video done. I hope you found that helpful. And a couple little new tricks and tips there in that video, and a couple little new features that we're after learning about, especially in the sketch area there with the trim entities, convert, and offset as well. Okay, and obviously then in the features tab, that's not in here now, but with the reference geometry using a plane as a reference. Okay, so that's it, guys. Hope you found that helpful. That's the video.